Live at Buddy Bear with the second annual SSA Midsummer Classic preview show. Here with my good friend Jerry Brown.
Hello everyone, happy to be back.
So we're going to do our preview show, but we're going to do it a little bit different. We got a twist. Me and Jerry were talking during the 50th year anniversary at Harrison Park. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it, Jerry?
Oh, I had a great time, and I want to once again thank Manny and his crew for doing an excellent job. And congratulations to Bullies being the champion, and hopefully the 51st might go Obos's way.
There you go. And how about the MVP of the winning team, Edwin, who also kind of runs that team, having been a cancer survivor the last year and a half. Just a terrific story. It was a lot of great fun. Getting back to what we're going to do today, with the no glove kind of lurking and this being the last real major tournament before that, me and Jerry decided to do something a little bit different. We're going to talk about some of the teams as we see it. Again, these are our opinions. We're not affiliated with Forest Park, so you can put whatever emphasis you want on it, I guess. But what we're going to do is we're going to run it down. We're going to go through teams that we think should get the 4 byes, because the top 4 finishers from last year, the returning finishers, are automatically seeded as they finished. We're going to go through who we think the next 4 should be. We have 12 teams each that we feel should be locks to get in, and our lists are a little different. And then we're going to go through another group of about 8 that are kind of in the hunt for the last 4 spots, and then we're going to show you the bracket and go through the bracket as well. So you ready, Jerry?
Let's go.
Okay, so we're going to start this thing off, and first thing we got is, of course, the bracket for the tournament, and it's also online at SSA Facebook page, so you can go there, you can see it. Before the tournament starts, we will put the link up. We will have the live bracket and a tournament page for this event. So you'll be able to see that. So here we go. Gio and Jerry's bye teams. And you want to go first, Jerry?
Well, as you previously stated, 45s, high wide, old timers, and flash finished in the top 4 last year. And so moving right along, my 4 for the second bracket or vice will be Circus, BTA, Signature, and I got Moneyline.
And we're very close on that 5 through 8 on the seeds. You have BTA above Signature. I have them Signature above that, and you took Moneyline, I took Hex. But I think the outstanding thing here is we have a team from Iowa that's going to be the 3 seed. So I don't believe we've ever had an Iowa team be a 3 seed at the No Glove. So that's pretty impressive right there. And whether you like Hex or you like Moneyline, it's pretty close. So I think either way they go, when they decide it, you can't really point and say it would be a mistake.
Yeah, the reason why I put a BTA notch above Signature, because in head-to-head competition this year, BTA squeaked the win out of the Signature in Forest Park. So they have the nod. Signature might have more experience, tournament experience, running deep, but the last 2 tournaments, BTA has finished 3rd and 4th respectively. So I gave them the nod. In regards to Moneyline, they play hard. They've had some very very good wins, and I put them for that second group of buys.
Well, BTA certainly is a threat. I think that if we were playing with mitts, I'd have them higher. I think they showed us last Labor Day that with the gloves, they're a very, very tough team. And I still need to see them break through a little bit more without the gloves, and to see how they're going to handle the bright lights at Forest Park. What I do like about Moneyline is I like the 2 kids at the top of their lineup when they're there. And that's Marty Dozan. No, is Marty Dozan there? No, he left. I'm sorry. But Chris Stout. Excuse me.
That's his name.
Chris Stout. I like that kid at the top of their lineup. I think he's just an unbelievable ball player, and he's getting better and better. And if this weekend, he's a guy that if you come to the ball game and you watch Moneyline, focus on Chris Stout. He is just a very dynamic ball player. And, Moneyline, very good team, and they have beaten a lot of big teams the last few years, so always a threat. So moving on now, these are the next 12 teams that me and Jerry, each of us have decided teams we think are safe. I'll go first this time. I got Chicago Dynasty. They haven't played maybe up to their expectations this year, but that's a veteran crew that always seems to put it together around this time of the year. So I look for them to be in the tournament. I like Chucks from Iowa. I think that they've played very well out in Iowa, and we're going to see them this weekend. I think the Demons have done enough. They've got very good league records, and more importantly, they won the SSA Tom Eggs Czarnik Class A No Glove Class A National Championship. So they've already played a no glove tournament with a lot of these other A teams, and they've come out on top. The Fat Kids have been pretty tough all year. They finished second at the SSA Class A No Glove tournament, and they did it the hard way. They came all the way through the losers bracket. So I think they've done enough to get in. I like the Impact, actually both of the Impact teams. Their league records may not be great, but both of them have got some quality wins. Impact shut out the 45s, I believe, 2-0 in a ball game. And I believe March Impact has beaten Flashback twice. So I think they've done enough to get in. Like the Meatball City team, I like the younger kids who are making their name. And this is where Marty Dozen landed. I got a little confused earlier. Marty Dozen is a terrific young player, and of course picking up Pops Alejandro, Mike Marola, and a couple of the other guys they did. I think they really upgraded. And I like Menace. Jerry, you got him on the bubble. I like Menace. I think they've done enough as well. They finished third in the No Glove A, and I think that they've done enough to get in. Obviously, I have Moneyline getting into the tournament. I also like OBI. I think OBI's got a terrific roster. If John Ryan gets his roster out for the No Glove, I think they're going to be a load because, first of all, John Ryan's a terrific pitcher, but also he's got a lot of those hammer to clam, and he's got a couple of those mint guys sprinkled in. And so they're going to be, if he gets them out, they're going to be very, very tough, I believe. And then I've got the Shooters also as one of my teams. So, Jerry, why don't you run us through your teams and what your thoughts are?
Okay, well, the first team I have is Hex, and Hex could easily be in the, could easily get the bye. That's a coin flip. Hex is going to be tough. I like Iron and the Mintini High School young men who play the outfield. They have a young team who runs like deers and hit, and they do everything. So if they get hot, I wouldn't be surprised to see them advancing. Chicago Dynasty, they look a little flat this year, but with this tournament, anybody can strike fire. Fat Kids have been on fire all year, and they're a serious threat. Along with Players Inc. I like Players Inc. I think they have a good pitcher. They have a couple of good corner pieces, and I really like Players Inc. Moving along, Impact, Demons, Splash. I consider them on the A level, but they're tough A teams that can make a good run if they get rolling. Moving along, OBI, Shooters, Meatball, Whale. That completes my bracket, and like I said before, this bracket is more about your roster. If the guys show up, if everybody guys show up and click, anybody in this bracket can catapult and could go deep into this tournament. And those are the teams that I have, those teams that I really like.
Okay, it's interesting. I I got to live stream that Whale team yesterday, and I got to tell you, they got some nice pieces there. And again, it just comes down to, like you said, rosters. And of course, the one thing that you don't know about the No Glove is it's open roster. So a lot of times you don't know not only who's on a given team, but who they're going to pick up. So when you have a good roster and you have the ability to go out and to, in essence, recruit, that kind of changes things a little bit. So it's always interesting to see who grabs who. So moving along, okay, now we come to the fun stuff. And this is as me and Jerry see it, of course, the No Glove National Bubble teams. And what I did, all of my teams, with the exception of Hall of Fame Concession, who's my wild card, are in the Midsummer Classic. The teams that Jerry has listed with the asterisk before them are also in the Midsummer Classic. And that's going to come into play when we start going through the bracket a little bit by quarter. So some of the teams that I have on the bubble is Goodwood. Every time I seem to see that team, they're right in the ball game. They're very close. Saw them turn 3 double plays yesterday, and they had a pretty good No Glove A. They were very competitive. Of course, Pharaohs, and again, I think they got a little work to do. They shown a flash at the TLC when they beat Chicago Dynasty, but they haven't really done a whole lot since then. So I think they got some work to do. Again, I've got Players Inc. on the bubble, but I think they've got very good opportunities this weekend, and they need to kind of show up. Sauce, Splash, Traffic, Whale, I put them all in that category where this weekend, and especially when we look at the bracket, these teams all have a chance to face off against each other. And that might end up being a determining factor on whether they get in. Now, I got Hall of Fame listed as a wild card. And first off, I'm very fond of them. They're probably saying very bad things about me right now, Jerry, in Iowa. But I think they're a wild card because they struggled a little bit at the North-South. Now, the field conditions weren't great. It was tough to handle the ball in Oak Lawn. But should they get invited, the reason why I think they're a wild card is because I expect Chucks and I expect, obviously, old-timers who's got a bye to be invited. If they take a third Iowa team, what happens at that point is you go from maybe 20 teams being locked into 21. And that would mean when you look at my list, or even some of the teams on Jerry's list, only 2 would get a flat-out invite, and then 4 of the remaining teams would be thrust into the play-in situation. So that's why I got Hall of Fame Concessions as a wild card, and it'll be interesting to see what they do in terms of picking. So, Jerry, why don't you run through your bubble teams?
Oh, before I run through the bubble teams, I just want to say that this is really tough pickings. Forest Park does a great job of making these selections. I've done this sheet 4 and 5 times, and I still don't know if I have it right or wrong. But my bubble teams will go like this. I would like Pharaohs, March Impact, Bushwood. I like Wolfpack. I think Wolfpack might have an outside chance of making some noise if they get an opportunity. Menace, Goodwood, as they call it, so Wood, they sting the ball and hit the ball very well. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get in and make a lot of noise. But my wild card team, also I put Chucks in the bubble because I really can't comment on Chucks and the Iowa teams that much because I haven't had the privilege and honor to watch them and see them play. So I'm not going to comment on something that I haven't really seen with my own 2 eyes. But moving along, I like Sauce.
Never stopped me, Jerry, but go ahead.
Yeah, right. But I like Sauce. I like Sauce as my wild card, and that's what I have so far. So once again, like I said before, Forest Park does a tremendous job. This is not easy to do, guys. This is not fun to do because you have to leave off some very good softball teams that are not going to be in this tournament, and they're going to be the out looking in. But that's what makes the No Glove Nationals such a treasure, joy, and honor to participate in.
And I agree with you, Jerry. I mean, we ran through some of that when the SSA has to pick the teams at the TOC. And, Forest Park gets a little bit of a break because they get to see teams in league play.
True.
And this will be the third tournament that they've been able to see teams play in. And but I know, I've had through the years many conversations with John Doss over there, and every year, John tells me what a struggle it is, and
I can imagine.
all the work that goes into it. So for anybody that thinks, any organizer, we'd all love to have 6 diamonds and to let everybody in, but unfortunately, Forest Park has 2, Westchester has 2, and that's, just part of the limitations. So with all of that being said now, let's go ahead and we're going to go to the quarter brackets now. And so here we are at the top of the bracket. And this is a very interesting situation because you got Pharaohs and Splash, and you could make the argument they're both bubble teams. And here they're going to be Thursday night playing each other. Last chance to impress. And so it's going to be very interesting. You got Chucks on the bubble, and they're playing Meatball City. And if I was Chucks, Chucks, I wouldn't sleep on Meatball City.
Not at all.
And that is going to be a terrific ball game, 8:30 on Friday. And then on the bottom, you got Traffic. Whether they play Meatball Cities or Chucks, that's a big game for them. That's the type of game that can show Forest Park that they belong. What are your thoughts on the bracket there?
Well, this upper bracket, I consider this the play-in bracket, so to speak, because the Pharaoh Splash game, the winner of that game has gotten extra points in terms of the invite for the No Glove. So whoever comes out of this bracket, I already have Meatball City already in, so that won't hurt anything. But let's just say Pharaohs come out this bracket, and I would have Pharaohs would be a lock-in to get off the bubble and back in the tournament. Traffic, they've had some quality wins in the North and South, I think. And so I wouldn't be surprised with this bracket, with that team at all. But the thing is, this bracket is, to me, the play. I like to tell it's the play-in bracket. The winner of this bracket will be guaranteed, in my opinion, a chance to play the No Glove.
Well, I agree with you. I think Meatball City has done enough. Chucks has been a dominant team out in Iowa. So we'll see. We'll see how they perform playing without the gloves. They were originally scheduled to come in 3 times this year, and we got rained out at the Kickoff Classic, and they ended up not coming in for either the North-South. So this is really going to be their only time that they're going to be here prior to the No Glove. So it'll be interesting to see how they play. So let's move on to the next quarter. And again, this too is the same way. You got Goodwood here. They absolutely need to get past 40 deuce, and they need to get to that BTA game. I would think in a matchup with BTA would be the favorite, but sometimes it's not just beating a team, it's how do you play them. If it's a very competitive back and forth kind of game, that can help Goodwood. If they get the upset, that will help Goodwood. On the bottom part of this bracket, you got High Y. They're in. They're the 2 seed. They're playing Impact. We both got Impact getting in. Then you have March Impact on the bubble. So regardless of which team March Impact plays, they get an opportunity here again to kind of get off the bubble a little bit and maybe score another impressive win that might really seal their fate in terms of getting in.
Okay, in my opinion about this bracket, Goodwood has to really strike fire They need a couple of wins, and I know the 40 Deuce game is going to set everything in line. They're going to come across BTA, and that's going to be tough. Like you said before, it has to be a competitive game. But BTA's defense, and they've been clicking in every tournament this year. So they need a good quality wins, plural. And I just not sure about that just yet. So, but I don't play the game. You guys play the game. Moving along, the high Y impact. I got high Y, and impact, March impact really need a win. But you never know in no glove softball what can happen.
Well, and that's true, Jerry, because we got it is a double elimination tournament. So even though we're running through the first round of the tournament, there will be other opportunities for teams. So for you teams listening, it's not the end of the world if you go in the losers bracket. For example, Flash and 45's playing Friday. There are going to be some good teams in the losers bracket where you can make your bones as well. So, it's just real important that teams come out, they're prepared to play, and they're ready to play all weekend. So now we're going to head to the bottom half of the bracket, the upper quadrant. And just like you thought that the play-in bracket, to me, this is kind of a very big play-in bracket. I've got Demons and Dynasty in, but the winner plays Whale. So that's a good opportunity for Whale. I know you've got them in. I got them on the bubble, but that's a real good opportunity for this Whale team, regardless of who they would face, to really score some points in terms of getting into the tournament. I did have Players Inc. in with my bubble team, but this is a golden opportunity for Pete and his guys, because I think a win against Hex, I think would, in my mind, take Players Inc. off the bubble. And I think that would get them a flat-out invite. So that's a big game. And then you got Sauce on the bottom. So Sauce is sitting in a position where they can do themselves a lot of good, because whether, if they're playing Inc., they can say, hey, we beat Players Inc. Sauce also had a, very competitive no-glove tournament. And, of course, if they beat Hex, it's a big win. So, to me, you got some teams here that can really make some hay.
What I have in this bracket, I have my wild card Sauce. So I got my eye on Sauce to really get some quality wins. And they're, and they're in a very good position. If I say if Players Inc. or Hex, the winner of that game, if Sauce can win that game, and like you said before, just because you might lose a game, it's double elimination, you can come through the back door and have 4 or 5 quality wins. The Demons intrigue me. They hit the ball well, along with Whale. That's going to be a very interesting game with the Demons and Chicago Dynasty. Whale's waiting. I have the Demons and Whale already in, but you don't have enough wins. You got to keep getting more wins, more quality wins, and that only helps your case. Hex is like almost can get a bye from my earlier prediction, but they were just on the out looking in. But they are probably the class of this bracket, but that doesn't mean they're going to win this bracket. So I'm looking at Sauce, and I got my eye on you. Don't let me down, Sauce.
And, it's interesting because, it is double elimination. There are going to be a lot of games this weekend, and it's going to be very interesting to see. Teams like the Demons, I had a good time with them at the No Glove A, and they epitomize what you want a younger team to be. They are very enthusiastic. They believe in themselves. They're very close-knit. And they just go out and they play hard, man. And it's going to be interesting. And I like that Sauce team, too. I like Brian. I think that they are a very tough team. And I think they are showing signs of kind of really putting it all together. And we'll see this weekend. So now we'll go to the last quarter bracket. And man, this is heavyweight stuff here, Jerry Brown.
Yes, this is a 15 round fight, Ali and Frazier.
I mean, we're going to be out there, folks. And I tell you, tournament softball is terrific. And to get a Thursday night, kicking off the tournament at 7 o'clock, Tito's 45s, who just won the North-South, they actually won the No Glove last year. And then you got Flashback, who won this tournament and has always been one of the marquee major teams, going at it with one of them going in the loser's bracket. And if you're money line, you got the bye, but your door prizes, you're going to play either Flashback or Tito's. Woo. So, and that's at 8:30. So those are two tremendous first round matchups. And on the bottom, you got Signature playing Menace. So Menace, right off the bat, is going to get one of the big dogs. And it'll be interesting to see what Menace does in that ball game. Again, I think they've done enough to get in with their third place finish in the No Glove A, and we'll see how competitive they are. But this is if you're Menace, you got thrown into the deep end of the pool here.
Yeah, that's to say the least. That 45 Flash game, the 45s are really scalding the ball the last North and South tournament, and they're averaging double digit runs. And Flash is also they can strike fire too, and you got money line waiting on them. So this is going to be a very interesting bracket. And you move down to Signature and Menace, and if I was Signature, I wouldn't look past Menace. Not that they would anyway, but I wouldn't look past that Menace game because they have some lefties, the right fielder, and I think the left fielder. They have two lefties that are very impressive. So I wouldn't look past Menace at all. And Menace needs a couple of wins in my book to hop off that bubble and get into the core of the invite.
Yeah, and it's funny, Jerry, because those games are all on field too. So we may have the bulk of the crowd sitting around field too, watching these particular ball games. But it's also interesting because, Melrose is a lot like Forest Park in the sense that depending on which way the wind blows, that affects scores. And usually if it's a warmer day, that wind is blowing out on field two. And it'll be very interesting to see what happens because we have seen football-like scores on that field too. And we've got some offensive juggernauts going to be playing there. Now, doesn't mean the wind can't be blowing in on that diamond, but I would recommend everybody who's playing on that diamond to bring their big boy offense because it may take a few runs down there.
Yeah. Field 2 is the one that got reconfigured. I'm a little confused.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, that when you see Field 2 that's been reconfigured from years past. So what you should do is thank the mayor of Melrose, Patty Caputo, for the reconfiguration of the field. He's told me time and time again that he redid the field. So now he's the architect of Melrose. So thank him. I thank you. Good job. And Richie does a great job. Richie Rico does an excellent job keeping the fields maintained properly and top notch.
And it is true for those of you maybe going to be coming out this year, and for those of you who maybe haven't been to Melrose in a while, what Jerry's talking about is the left field foul line on Field 2 used to run almost straight into a bocce ball court that they had there and a tree overhang, and it would just cause a nightmare ground rule wise. And so Patty did go to Richie and some of the other people at Melrose, and he asked them to slide home plate up and to tilt it. So now it's a real clean left field. The players got room to run into foul territory without being on the walkway. And it should not only be better softball because the game won't stop as much, but safer for the players as well. So again, the people in Melrose, just terrific. If you're planning on coming out, we're going to have a food dog, Joey Casa. More Than Dogs. You might see Joey out by Guaranteed Rate off of 31st Street. He's there when the White Sox are in town. He's going to be at Melrose Park. So he's kind of a celebrity, really. Celebrity chef. So Joey will be out there. They are going to have a beer truck. Gold Rush Gaming is going to have a tent out there. And we're going to be running, and this is real important, folks. We're doing a 50-50 raffle for cancer research. There have been a few people that have been afflicted with cancer who've passed away from cancer in our softball community. So we did raise the entry fee by $25. That extra $25 is going to cancer research. We have the 50-50 raffle, and there will be a cash prize affiliated with that. But your 50-50 ticket will also put you into the raffle for some other things, including a gorgeous Gold Rush Gaming bag set. Some of you call it cornhole. And then we also have like a fire tablet, a 4K fire stick, and some other things that Gold Rush has given us to be a part of the raffle. As far as the 50-50 portion, you don't have to be present. Just fill that ticket stub out. If you want to win one of the raffle prizes, you will have to be present if they pull your ticket, because you'll have to go and select a gift at that time, because we'll probably just let whoever wins down the line go and select whatever prize they want. So it should be good. We do want to raise some money, so we encourage all of you and the teams and the players, the fans, the family. It's for a good cause. We're not keeping a nickel of it. It's all going to cancer research. So please, when you're in the park, you can come to the SSA tent. Come find me. We'll have the 50-50 tickets, and you can purchase them 1 for $10, 3 for $20. So please, please, please buy as many tickets as you can. So other than that, it should be good. This tournament, Jerry's in a weird spot because it's the last one before the No Glove, and that's why.
Big Daddy.
And that's why we spent a little time wanting to talk about, talk about the No Glove tournament and potential bubble teams, because it is important, it is big, and this particular tournament for a lot of teams could be make or break. So, closing thoughts, Jer?
Well, I got to ask you a question. I've been stopped, and is it true, yay or nay, will you have a all-Geo team for all Americans? I mean, I'm hearing you're going to have an all-Geo, and I would like to put my bid in for Savante Cap Samuel to be a first-team all-Geo, if you're going to have the team. Rumor has it.
Well, we did talk about it, Jerry, and you had encouraged me to do an all-Geo a la John Madden type team, and I think we will do something like that at the end of the year, and it won't just be based on talent, but it'll be based on other criteria. How hard do you play? You know, are you a madman in a good way? So it won't just be all talent, but we'll try to get a representative sample of the character of 16-inch softball.
Well, if it's not all talent, then I'm available and I'm a candidate if it's not all talent. But be aware, be all Geo.
All Geo, put that on your resume.
Hey.
Okay, folks, that'll do it for us. Come on out. Tournament starts Thursday, Bulger Park in Melrose Park. We will be live all weekend showing you the very best of the action. And, oh, by the way, final thought, the MVP trophy of the Midsummer Classic is named after George Bliss.
Yeah.
So, and what do you always say about George, Jerry?
I got my wish. I work with the great George Bliss.
There you go. He leaves Gio out on the curb. What can you do? Okay, folks, thanks a lot for tuning in. We appreciate it. And, excuse me. And so we will be talking to you very soon. And on the part of SSA, we'd like to say thank you. And we'll talk.